How's the bye week for you personally?
Bye was good. It had a chance for us to get our feet back on our bodies. If anybody was injured, they have extra time for treatment, but also it helped us to prepare for this week.
How are you feeling health-wise? We haven't talked to you after the concussion and everything. Just where are you at from the health standpoint?
Oh, I'm good. We got a great training staff, so if anybody injured, they're always on top of that. So this week I'm 100%.
Well, what have the conversations kind of been like with you guys in the running back room, the offensive line, Coach Grubb, about trying to get the run game going as a whole?
It all starts with the running backs. We got to do better on our part, and then of course fall down to the on lines. We just got to take it day by day. Just take it during practice, just keep repping and just trying to get better.
What are some of the specific things that maybe Grubb or Gillespie have talked to you all about what you guys need to get better?
He always talk about missed tackle force. Being able to make people miss. Just picking your feet up and just a play could be you can make contact at 5 yards, but if you make somebody miss, you go for 30, 40 plus, or even a touchdown.
In your early film study, what have you seen from LSU's front seven?
They're a great team. LSU is still LSU. They always been a great team, so we just gotta prepare. And just get ready.
And who are some players specifically that you're like we got to make sure we contain this guy to have a big run game and a good passing game?
It's the whole defense. We can't take anybody light. We just got to be 10 toes down and be able to dominate.
You've been here a while and you've played LSU a number of times. Just what do you remember kind of historically in your career about games against that team?
It's always a big game. Every time, November, LSU, it's just always a big game. And, we just got to go out there and win.
LSU struggled stopping the run in years past when y'all played them. Milrose had big games in 23 and in 24. Do you think you could have something similar to that, get your run game going a little bit?
Oh, yeah. You got to take it, day by day during practice, just be able to rep it, just get better and just take it out there on the game.
How much confidence does it give you seeing those games in the past for this matchup on Saturday?
I try to leave everything in the past, just worry about the present and what I could do, to help this team get better and plus the running game.
Do you think they'll play more juvenized, I guess, or more energetic now that Brian Kelly's not there anymore? Whether it's a new coaching staff? We could prepare for anything. No telling what LSU got under their sleeve. We just got to be ready and prepared.
Coach Grubb talked yesterday about there's a belief among this team that there's still room for improvement. Just how important is that this time of year that you kind of know you still have more left in the tank, you haven't reached your ceiling yet?
Just taking it day by day. Like what DeBoer always said, everybody haven't seen Bama best yet. So we're just trying to get better each and every day.
A lot of younger guys play significant minutes in this game. What would you tell them about the Alabama and LSU rivalry?
Just got to put everything out there on the line. You just can't take a team for granted. LSU, like what I said, LSU could come up with anything we haven't seen, so we just got to be ready.
How have you seen Daniel and Kevin come along behind you throughout this season? How have you seen them grow?
Me as a leader, I just try to stay on all the running backs, make sure they know what they're doing each and every play, just having a little conversation with them, like just checking up on them just to build a better relationship with them, and, we're just taking it day by day.
This running back room is very versatile. Just how confident are you in this group?
Oh, I'm very confident. Everybody know what they're doing. We're just taking it during practice, to be able to prepare ourselves for the game. And whoever in the game, they go out there and do their best.
Coach Grubb said he wants you guys to be excited about running the football and flex on some people. To what extent is that a message at practice, and how does that show?
We just got to get better, for us to have that excitement, that celebrating or whatever during a big run, it all start off in practice, just repping it and getting better.
Speaking of getting better, how much improvement have you seen from the offensive line from game one against Florida State to right now, or have you seen any at all?
Oh, I've seen a lot of improvement, taking it, like I said, taking it day by day, just working on their craft, anything they're not good at, you can see them after practice just working on it.
Speaking of the O-line, how exciting is it to see a guy like Caden Proctor get the ball and just run and truck past people?
Oh, yeah, it's something new. I ain't never seen anything like that before, but being able to run through people, that's a big thing.